यहाँ सिर्फ सिल्क ट्रेड नहीं हुई है, आइडियाज भी ट्रेड हुए। चाइना से कागज इधर ले आए, इधर से कुछ उधर चला गया। And I just lost one where I said there was only one major battle between Chinese and Muslims, and that was on the banks of River Talas. And luckily, in those days, Muslims won that battle under the command of Hazrat Zaid bin Salah, Abbasid general was. उसके बाद एक अजीब सा फैसला हो गया। Chinese never advanced transaction in transaction, and Muslims took all the transactions. ये फर्क पड़ा। अब भी हमारा जिंदगी जो आखिरी जो है ना, हादीस आप भी लिखते हो, मैंने पढ़ी है वो। अब भी the match is not better. Afghanistan is being taken as a wrong entity. मैच उधर से आ रहा है, those 4 states. वो पीछे कर्गिस्तान वो से till now they are a silent volcano. कोई भी नहीं उठ रहा उधर। First time my student general was there, General Bilal Akhtar, तो उनको I said, उसको मैंने बताया कि ये असल सपोर्ट है इस्लाम, ये पीछे ये कर्गिस्तान है, ये है नील के साहिल से लेके ताबाह काशगर। And if you can maneuver, अगर पाकिस्तान के maneuver, it's like the head of a dragon. ये ड्रैगन हेड है पाकिस्तान, पीछे जा रहे हैं, मगर अफगानिस्तान को नहीं, ये इधर है जहाँ से अभी तैमूर बालास उठा ना। And the funniest thing is, Nostradamus, when he said in his prophecy, and he was very close, so he wrote 4 lines. So from the आप खुरासान कह रहे थे, उसको खुरासान को Greater Mohammedan Empire. Okay. From the Greater Mohammedan Empire, a master of Mohammedan law will be born. He will bring back the fury of Mongols to the world. Terror, 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 terror. ये वहाँ से आ रहा है. Are we expecting it? Maybe 5-10 years more. I have already said कि ये जंगें तो शुरू हो जाएंगी अभी से, 2023 वाली जंगें इधर से शुरू हो जाएंगी, उसमें ये जंगें शुरू हो very close. Alhamdulillah.
I am of the view that
आपकी उम्र कितनी है?
your age, by the moon, because Allah says in the Quran, He gave us the moon لِتَعْلَمُوا عَدَدَ السِّنِينَ وَالْحِسَابِ. So the system of time ordained by Allah is one in which the moon is centrally located. So by the moon I'm almost 82, but by the sun I'm just almost 80.
So we are the same age.
I am of the opinion that despite all the badmashi things that Trump did, they did not trust him to control power. And so while he was the President of the United States, we were spared the Great War. They did every single trick in the book, every dirty trick in the book to get rid of him, including cheating in elections. And now they have their man in the Oval Office as president. And he's an old man, he's in his late 70s now, so they know that he can pass away. I came to the conclusion, and I would like to hear your response, that they're more likely than not to seek to spend the next 4 years constantly provoking Russia and China, deliberate provocation, to try to get the big war that our prophet is prophesying, and that's there in the previous scriptures. And they need this war to bring about the transition from Pax Americana to Pax Judaica. I'd like to hear your views.
There is only one sense of politics which suggests this could happen, and that is if these two powers cross lines and fight and they put another agent like Israel, like Iran, Israel, and they are part of this plan. So America thinks that everybody will be destroyed and he will stay aside and will escape, and he will then rule the world single-handed. This could be a part of their policy, but the thing is, once these, you see, things start shooting and the sprinkles rise, will America survive? This is the problem. It cannot.
They don't care for America. They don't need America anymore. They've used it enough.
Yeah, this is what I think it will not survive. I think I would say most of the, whenever I study the factors about American destruction, they were not in buildings, they were in people. Always people came from other parts to America, settled down here, the great civilizations of Maya and all this. And then suddenly they found buildings there, everything was there, no, there was no person. So this is going to happen again. Very long before I wrote just one sentence, that one day somebody will come down the American, you see, place, and they would see some woman, working on this her cloth with the stones, and you would say, what a barbarian look of that would be. They will again go back to the same world. You see, this is what I can say.
So you also expect the Great War, the Malhama, soon?
This is a war is a must. War is a must.
It's a must.
Even if we did not believe God, war is a must. The human history tells us why. Tell me one thing. I consider Israelis as the worst, corrupt and silly people on earth. أعوذ بالله أن أكون من الجاهلين. The word used is jahilin. On the contrary, we consider them the wisest people. But their prophet says, أعوذ بالله أن أكون من الجاهلين. Now there is one law of history which can never be overruled. The law says the minority cannot rule majority for a long time. This rule has been eternal. This rule has never gone overruled in the history. Now, they are a small one. If I were there, I would have taught them this lesson. The stupid people. Maybe you succeed for 50, 70, 80 years, but no more. You will be totally wiped out around you. Either you kill all the majority around you, or you deal with them to stay brotherly and be one of them. Otherwise, you are bound to be eliminated, destroyed from this earth. This is history. This is Ibn Khaldun. This is Toynbee. This is not a hearsay. This is not an idea coming from it. We go through these rules. History is not a man, and they say history repeats itself. Yes, it does. Because these are the rules. And Israel is going to see those.
I have a suspicion that Toynbee had some help from above. I have a number of questions to ask of you.
Yes, welcome.
To hear your views. I don't know whether we'll ever get another chance to meet.
Probably because the age is pretty good.
The founder of Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, had a different profile from Dr. Iqbal.
Yeah.
His profile was such that he was hailed as the ambassador of Hindu-Muslim fraternity. Iqbal didn't have that profile. And this man who had this as the basis of his profile eventually had to part from it, maybe very sorrowfully. because he could not succeed, and then he opted for Pakistan. I hold the view that perhaps because of all the turmoil attending the birth of Pakistan and his own illness, he omitted to do something which, if he had done it, would have been embedded in gold in history. That as soon as Pakistan was born, he should have addressed all of India, not just the government, and said to them, this was not our preference. Our preference was for the two people to live together in fraternity. The Hindu will live as a Hindu, and the Muslim will live as a Muslim, which is what the Khilafat movement wanted. And so we sorrowfully had to part from you. But we want to enter it into the record that this was not our preference. And if at any time, a door is opened for us to try to recover our preference, we would always be very happy to reciprocate. What do you say about that?
It's very simple. The problem is not simply this. The problem is about the traditions, about the past, about every single individual standing against the same other individual, you see, in history. Again we say that the Hindu culture, religion is not harmful. Basically it's not a religion at all, it's a culture. If you look at the Hindu religion, it's a culture, it's not religion. We do not consider religion at all. Why doesn't the Hindu change his religion? A Muslim does change. Muslim women do change their religion, but not Hindus. Because it's such a strong culture of rights and other things. Every day they have a new part of their life work in their religion. Every day there is a new celebration, new function, new attitudes. So Hindu never ever leaves the religion. It was a miracle in this subcontinent. This was a miracle. I cannot appreciate less those great teachers who came. There was not a single Maulvi in them. There was not a single Maulvi. There was Ali bin Usman Hajwiri, there was Khaja Moinuddin Chishti Ajmeri, there was Fariduddin Ganj Shakar, there are Bakhtiyar Kaki, they were all top mystics. They came, and God came with them in India. His Highness also came with them. And so we see what never happened in history before. Muslims have ruled 750 years in Spain, and there is no residue left there. No sign of Muslims left in Spain. But Muslims ruled only 350 years in India, and they have 60 crore Muslims. Can you imagine? So it's not easy to imagine what happened in India. In India came real, pure grand masters of religion and teachers. They are still ruling in India.
I am not so much concerned.
But what I am trying to answer your question is, it's very simple. कि मुस्लिम आज तक जमीन पर मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, मुस्लिम नाम से बेहतर हमसाया कोई नहीं होता आज तक नहीं। When we were in Spain, we were the best possible, you see, उनके हमसाया थे।
Neighbors.
When Turkey अब जहाँ गया है उसने बेहतरीन हमसायों की तरह रहा है। India, where Pakistan was a new rising, emerging power and very risky existence they were passing through. They knew we were up against 1-5 and they could eat up anytime. ऊपर से in Kashmir, ibtidai age में, they made Muslims of Pakistan very suspicious of their activities in the very beginning. Anyway, then politicians when Nehru was behaving well, there was not, you see, one or two people were doing it. But now the flow that is coming is purely very possessive Indians who cannot accept anybody. By the Corona has made a very big decision. Even they have come back to Allah and they have come to the old set. That who believes in God, one God, does not believe in any other God, but that who believes in two gods, believe in 2,000 also. So Indians have at least 33 crore gods. उनमें उन्होंने खुदा को भी आवाज दे दी इस तरह 33 करोड़ खुदाओं के साथ ये खुदा वाला कैसे रह सकता है ये तो बताओ
This time around during the COVID, they have actually referred back to Allah for support. They were asking support from everybody, and they also sought support from Allah.
That's another subject. That's
So
another subject.
politically we have no problem with them. Why should we?
That's another subject. My question is directed to us. If we had entered this into the records,
Me too?
if we had entered this into the record at the moment when Pakistan was born, or even now 70 years later, we were entering this into the record, it is not relevant to us whether or not it is possible for the two people to come back and to live together fraternally. That's not the most important point. Whether it is possible or not is not the point.
Why should we desire that? That's the basic question. We can live like two countries, like all other people live, or even Roman Catholics and Protestants have been living in England like this.
The reality,
Why should we?
the reality, Professor Saab, the bitter reality is that Pakistan is being cornered, and you have about 3 or 4 years left if the big war takes place. And the transition from Pax Americana to Pax Judaica cannot be effected while Pakistan is a nuclear armed state.
There were 3 plans about Pakistan. Plan 1 was to destroy it physically, geographically, and separate it. Second plan was to weaken it. We make it so weak that it could not survive, sell its atomic installations, get rid of it. And the first plan failed in the days of General Kiani, and he kept the integrity of the country. And the second plan will be, inshallah, failing miserably when Imran Khan, his people go.
I don't share at all.
No, you don't need
I
to,
don't
but
share-
I'm telling my opinion.
I don't share the optimistic view.
No, it's not optimistic. It's not optimistic.
I am of,
Pakistan has no problem, to be very frank.
I am of the opinion.
Pakistan, you see, when we were fighting this battle, me and General Ghani were together. So I told him this battle may be there, but we have a rare opportunity to create a collapse army to pass through this. So we have to go for many wars again in future. So this was a rare opportunity. Every single soldier of our army will be a die-hard veteran अगर आप उसको इस जंग से गुजारो.
Well, let us hope and pray that something happen good for Pakistan, yes.
आप पाकिस्तान के 4 साल में बात करते हो ना ये मेरा ख्याल ये है कि ये आखिरी मुल्कों में से हो.
My view is different, but I
We are a
hope
little
and pray, I hope
different,
and pray
yes.
something good happen, yes.
मेरा ख्याल है कि पाकिस्तान आखिरी मुल्कों में से होगा और ईसा के साथ खड़ा होगा और that will be the end. आगे जाजूज और माजूज ऐसे सब कुछ ही मुका देना.
International politics is my subject.
No,
and I'm studying international
it's
politics
mine
from
also.
the Quran. So we have a difference of view on the
I tell you
subject.
one thing, it's mine also.
Yeah.
I am basically a student of every single human history in every part
Alhamdulillah,
of
mashallah,
in every part of the world.
mashallah.
And philosophies and psychology.
Mashallah, mashallah.
But that's how I told
Yeah.
you, that Israel cannot survive technically, historically. Pakistan's problem is it's never been a country. It is always a gateway. It's always a mercenaries way to live and work here. That's why how we are living now, like mercenaries. everybody is looting, pillaging, plundering, they are happy. But we have one good hope, that this is an area which we call the crucible of the best minds. Crucible.
Yes,
This is
I agree
crucible.
with that. I agree with that.
7 greatest Sufi people of the world live over
I
here.
agree with that. That's why I'm here.
And if we expect a Messiah, if we can ever expect a world leader, it will be from this.
That's why I'm here, Professor Saab. That's why I'm here.
Pakistan will survive.
माशाल्लाह
That's why I'm here, yes. Yeah.
इसीलिए आए सर आप इसी सोच के साथ आए
The next scholarly
इनका तो थोड़ी सी डिसअपॉइंटमेंट इसलिए होती है कि ये इर्द गिर्द के जो देख रहे हैं ना पाकिस्तान पे हमले,
सर
मगर इर्द गिर्द के पाकिस्तान के हमलों में एक चीज ये नहीं देख रहे कि पाकिस्तान कुछ लोगों के लिए, कुछ इन्हीं खौफनाक ताकतों के लिए मजबूरी भी है। मगर पाकिस्तान इफ यू कट ऑफ तो चाइना से इनके रवाबत जो है बाहर के खत्म हो जाते हैं। रूस ने ये सबक सीख लिया है, दैट्स व्हाई रशिया इज बिकम ए गुड फ्रेंड ऑफ चाइना नाउ। उसने ये सीख लिया कि ये पावर है फुल लोग, ये अगर मिलते हैं तो ये हमारा बेड़ा गर्क करते हैं, ये सीख लिया रूस। सो रूस इसलिए हमारे साथ आ रहा है। अब देखो कि एशियाई प्रोजेक्ट में टर्की का आने का क्या बात है, वो आके राइट मिडिल ईस्ट में बैठ गया, उसके होते हुए कोई चूक भी नहीं सकता। इसका मतलब है फाइटिंग, और luckily Turkey has never lost with the West. Even in the weakest moments of their lives, and we said they have got Chinkale ki battle, and then Gallipoli ki battle, Daradanyal ki battle, and even those histories will never be mentioned by British and their Almighties, you see, जो जंग उन्हें कुतुल अमारा में हुई है, वो इतनी खौफनाक से कसते हैं फॉर द वेस्ट कि दे स्टिल रिमेंबर देम इवन टुडे on the battle of Mohawk they passed a judgment. Mohawk was not lost, everything was lost. सब मुसलमानों से लड़ेगा कोई नहीं बचा, इस तरह मारेंगे जैसे कह रहे हैं ना, इस तरह मारेंगे, सब मारेंगे, गरीब करके मारेंगे, भूखा करके मारेंगे, ये प्लान भी है उनकी। मगर the day से ये स्टार्ट हो जाता है, one door one window, ये आप देख लेना कि मुसलमान और लक्समबर्ग पाकिस्तान एक हैसियत के इस्लाम, लक्समबर्ग इज ए गेटवे टू यूरोप, हर तरफ से रास्ते वहां से गुजरते हैं, वो लिए जाते हैं, माल लिए जाते हैं। आप चौधरी होंगे बैठे हुए, यहाँ जगह जगह सिर्फ चौधरी बैठे होंगे जो कागज दिए जाएंगे और पैसे डालेंगे। It's going to be the richest country. And once you have a strong people to defend their riches, you cannot beat it, cannot beat it. तो डेस्परेशन होगी, दूर है, हजरत तो दूर है ना, इसलिए, मगर हम तो इधर बीच में बैठते हैं। We know what's right. There are some countries which must be there, whether they are good or bad. One of those countries is Pakistan. इसको रहना है, चाहे ये अच्छी है या बुरी है, whether it's good or bad, whether people like it or not, it will stay. India टूट जाएगा into congeries of states. Now again I tell you, India के बारे में ये है, right from 3000 years, this word which I just spoke, it is used for India, congeries of states. This is the word historians have used for 3000 years to state what will happen to, if you just ask me without any involvement in politics, not because I'm a Pakistani, I can understand that India will break down into congeries of states. Why? That this has been reported to us throughout 7,000, not more than even 12,000 years history of India says that the central India, whenever tries to increase its limits, breaks down under its own weights. ये जो मैं आपको द लॉज आई एम टेलिंग यू, ये लॉज उस किस्म के हैं जैसे इसके कशिश शकल होती है, जैसे ग्रेविटी लॉज है, जैसे क्वांटम के लॉज है, ये नहीं टूट सकते, ये कायनात ही है। तो सेंट्रल इंडिया ऑलवेज ब्रेक्स डाउन अंडर इट्स ओन वेट्स. Whenever India, even in the days of Chandragupta Maurya, even in the days of, say, Ashoka, even in the days of Mahyuddin Muhammad Aurangzeb Alamgir, the same thing happened. The moment they started expanding, the moment they became more ambitious, the Mauryan Empire only stayed for 35 years, only. So India now is very mature to break down, very, very mature. One more jerk, and they will create at least 7 to 12 countries in this. That's the way India can live with Pakistan also. Very lovingly, inshallah. Very lovingly. Whether if you force them, this is a strange kind of religion. I have been a student of all religions, even the Russians, those who've been worshipping on his born deities of Kikimora, all this. But this religion was very strange. Twice it has come back to divinity and unity. The first Trinity and the second Trinity both were monotheistic, and then they turned into gods and goddesses. And now every third Hindu has a different god.
Every third Hindu
Has a different god.
has a different god.
The well-counted gods are 33 crores.
Yes.
33 crores.
3.3 billion.
33 million?
3.3 billion.
Okay. तो आप अंदाजा करो कि ये कौम कैसे जिंदा रहे. When I deliver elections, I say when you will reach the harbors of your grave, and when you reach over there and the angel will ask you, Man Rabbuka. Maybe we are confused in one or two, but I wonder how Indian will be confused. He will take a long list. Shiva, Vishnu, Lakshmi, Durga, Saraswati. Oh my God, I just wonder. I wonder, what would they do? If this is true, if they will be questioned in the end, if they will be brought to grave, you see, and they will be asked two questions. How did you spend your life on earth? You ate well, you drank well, you saw a few good movies, and now you see, come back. Did you do my job? Mandrapa. And if he says, probably somebody told me there is a God. Yeah? That's not the story. At least, आपको पता अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि अफजलु ज़िक्र ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह. So that it should stay easy for us. अगर हम एक तस्बीह पढ़ लेंगे अफजलु ज़िक्र ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मद रसूलुल्लाह, तो कम से कम वहाँ पहुँचते हुए आदत तो होगी ना रोज पढ़ने की, तो फर्क से निकल जाएगा. फर्क निकल जाएगा. ठीक है, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह याद आएगा, मोहम्मद रसूलुल्लाह भी याद आएगा. That's why it's easy for a Muslim to get it. अमाल की कोई इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं. अल्लाह के रसूल की हदीस है कि खुदा नियत को देखता है, अमाल नहीं देखता. So इनको आप बताएं कि हमें यकीन है आज भी अच्छी नीयत वाले 2-4 मुसलमान बाकी हैं.
Professor Saab says that we are very confident that there are at least a few or good Muslims still here.
Oh, nobody disputes that.
Well, this is a big day for us, I must say. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Maybe this idea about Pakistan is born out of our many worries. We have very parallel history towards Cordova. Pakistan, if you want to compare it with anybody in the past, then it's a history of Cordova. Every next day, a new body would come and say, the first one is all corrupt and I am the best. And they would come, they would change. But always, you see, you should compare this. The Muslims in Cordova were not the new created country. They were the last remaining country. So they went out, Cordova went, there's nothing, no defeat, nothing at all. What happened was कि उन्होंने कहा कि एक लिखा गया मुआहदा उस मुआहदे के तहत वो जहाज़ों में चढ़ के वापस चले गए सारे मुसलमान. That's why कोई मुसलमान नहीं स्पेन में. वो जहाज खड़े हुए थे. They left Cordoba. They mounted those, you see, ships, और वो चले गए. बल्कि afterward Marrakesh में a special, you see, a mohalla was created and it was known as Andalusia. और अभी भी मौजूद है वो Andalusia. तो वो एक dying stage का आखिरी सांस. It was the last breath of the dying state. और इत्तेफाक से when Abu Abdul left Cordoba, he stood at a mount, looked back and cried. His wife was Aisha, and Aisha told it, "Why are you crying like a child over the leaving of a country? If you could not save that country with courage, why are you crying at that like a woman?" उस जगह को कहते हैं last sigh of Moors. वो अभी भी है उधर. Last sigh of Moors कि यहाँ आखिरी आहें ली थी. पाकिस्तान वालों को ऐसा कोई टीला नहीं है. We have no such mount where we should go and say the last sigh हमारे पास नहीं. We have to live or we have to die. Inshallah we will live. Inshallah. बाकी ना देखो अभी अब आप देखो क्या हुआ हिस्ट्री में टर्न कैसे आती है. I just want to point out one. It was known that the defenses of Israel are impregnable.
The functions of Israel
Are impregnable.
Defenses of Israel are impregnable.
impregnable.
It was known.
No, nobody can even think of entering Israel. And what happened? With $1 bit, you are destroying most entire city of Haifa and all this with this. इसलिए with the time changes, things come up, and even the most, you see, indefensible becomes defensible. And the most strong and you see what अगर तुम बरूजे मुशय्यदा में भी होगे तो क्या बर्बाद नहीं होगे? That's the way God moves. And you are a scholar of God, not of history. You are a student of Quran, inshallah ta'ala.
Yes, I have spent my scholarly life based on the Quran.
Why don't you write it? I must say the thing is, the one thing I was impressed by, because you know and I know, okay, we have to change the alamat.
The alamat?
Alamat.
The signs.
Oh, the alamat, okay.
You see, in Quran and Hadith, the terms which are used by the Prophet, they belong to that day. And those alamats have to be changed now. So what do they mean in modern terms, in modern technology? If somebody said there was a horse there, now it's a tank. And this will be a very big job.
This is an interpretation.
Yes.
Interpretation of Quran.
Alamat.
Hadith,
Yes.
yes.
Science
You
can
always have to be interpreting.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
You should write something about it.
I have spent all my life writing.
But particularly on these terms.
Alhamdulillah.
On these terms.
I'm grateful to you. You've given us so much of your time this morning today.
It's a pleasure to see you on.
Yes.
Inshallah ta'ala Aziz. I hope, how long you are here in Pakistan?
I'm trying to get a flight after Eid, inshallah, back to London. But I have unfinished work here. So I want to return.
Do you have a lecture somewhere?
No public lectures.
No
no.
public.
I'll return in September, inshallah. I only want to teach how to recite the Quran or how to study the Quran. And if you are 18, and 19, and 20, and 21 years of age, the age of my grandson and granddaughter, I want to teach you. So that's the universities. I can't change the Darul Uloom. So I leave them as
No,
they-
there's no need to. But you can do this, provided we can. You can set up a system. We can call it a system of studying Quran, a system of reciting Quran.
They are exactly where they were 70 years ago when Pakistan was born. No change from the Darul, nothing. And they're using a methodology in which they're intellectually sunk in concrete to offer opinions on subjects like money. When I asked Qazi Hussein Ahmad, who I found to be a very charming man, a learned man, is he still alive? Rahimahullah.
He's right.
I sat down with him for 1 hour, first time, face to face. I realized he did not have a knowledge of international monetary economics. So I spent an hour explaining to him what is paper money, which is your Pakistani rupee. After 1 hour, he got up from his chair and standing and he said, "It's a dhoka hai. Your Pakistani rupee is dhoka, it's bogus." And he's correct. I then said to him that Qazi Sahib is haram. No. I can't say it's haram, only Mufti Sahib can do it. Same thing with Dr. Israr Ahmad. Oh, no, only Mufti Sahib can do it. So let them remain. And I'm moving on. It's bogus, it's fraudulent, it's haram. The paper, then the plastic, then the electronic, then the crypto, then the bitcoins, and finally the one universal currency which will be a rope around your neck. And Allah will not change your condition, even if you are Pakistan. Even if you are Pakistan, Allah will not change your condition until you wake up and start using His guidance to change your condition. I see no one in Pakistan, none, saying that we need to return to real money. The IMF will not allow you to do that. The IMF has banned it. It's haram. You cannot use real money. You have to use the bogus money. So I said, let me teach the young ones. Let me go to the universities.
We are very brilliant young people.
Yes.
Here.
And teach the young ones. And I'll be very happy when I return in September. If I can meet with you again, it'll be an honor.
Awesome. One of the best scholars, he studied in England, come back. He's very good at financial things, particularly on Bitcoins. Junaid Khalid.
I have no problem with the young ones, even when they differ with me. We're on the same wavelength. But I can't teach the Maulanas and Muftis, sorry. I can't teach them.
Yeah, they stink.
Okay. They stink. They stink. Also say that they stink.
Yeah. I read to my surprise, astonishment, that Iqbal said, this Ummah stopped thinking 500 years ago.
Very rightly so. And the reason is very strange. Because we were all the time victorious. Fatah is a dangerous thing. It didn't let us, you see, remain attached to knowledgeability, learning, and arts and sciences. We were a proud nation. What was her name? Yes. The famous most historian now is she says for 1350 years we never had a good news from Muslims. For 1350 years Muslims were ruling. Wherever they went, they won. This continuous, you see, victorious line of their mind, you see, they made them slightly aberrated. They changed, they stopped learning.
I have to enter a note of dissent. Respectfully so. Muslim rule over Spain, you must call a spade, it was Islamic imperialism. And Muslim rule over India is not something I'm proud of. It's Islamic imperialism.
Yeah, it is, but
this is my view, and I am not at all hesitant in
Yeah,
declaring.
you may be a very, I must say, literally speaking, literal and practical Muslim. But there are other ways of expressing the Islamic idealism, and there may be the system of governance. Then the system of governance. I tell you one simple thing: two of our caliphs were killed by me. Umar was killed and Ali was killed. Even Osman was killed. Three of the caliphs. Out of four, three were killed. And one of the best comment on that killing is the time was not right for those kinds of livings and those kinds of kings and those kinds of caliphs. The time was. Prophet was saved because Quran said, Wallahu yasimuka minan nas. I'll save you from the people. So he did not care and he was saved. But our three Khulafas were killed. And why? Because they never defended themselves. It was a very complicated system then going on with the kings of the world, and they should have taken care. Later, Umar admitted this to Muawiyah's governorship of Syria, that he can keep the guards over there. But he himself did not keep any guard for himself. That system was not supposed to run the world ahead. So we came back to kingship or lordship. We came back.
I have to share one more thing with you. 600 years of Ottoman wars on the Orthodox Christians was bogus jihad. And the Ottomans did everything they could possibly do to ensure that the Orthodox Christian world will eternally hate Islam.
You may be right, but you know.
Just allow me to speak, please. And the hatred for Islam in Greece, in Bulgaria, in Serbia, in Yugoslavia, in Russia, was indescribable. Up to now. Up to now, that hatred is there. From Islamic eschatology, I realized what the Ottomans were doing. Sabotaging the end-time friendship and alliance between these two ummas. One solitary person. Now, I'm not boasting. You boast, Allah takes away your knowledge. I went to Russia. I went to Belgrade. I'm going to Greece soon, inshallah. And I reached out to the Orthodox Christian world, Turkish. And when I reached to them, what is the Islam that we have? It is an Islam in which there's a great war coming. And after that war, there's a conquest of Constantinople. And our Prophet praised that army. And he praised the commander. And I said to them, my opinion is that we are conquering Constantinople so that we return Hagia Sophia to you. It was shameful, it was disgraceful, it was manifestly sinful for the Ottoman Empire to take a cathedral and convert it into a masjid.
To take a cathedral by force?
To take a cathedral and transform it to a masjid.
I just want one explanation from you. Did he take it by force?
Well, he certainly did so.
Yeah.
He certainly did so.
Still there is a written...
Yeah. I have not come here...
You have read so much. Still there is a written document in which it was bought. Yeah, this is it.
I have great respect for your scholarship.
Same here, but I think...
I have great respect for your scholarship.
I think it's 600 years of art.
That the Sultan bought the cathedral is not something I could put as knowledge.
Can we deny the documents?
So I said to them, I believe we'll conquer Constantinople, and Erdogan cannot stop it, and Turkey cannot stop it, and Pakistan cannot stop it. And when we conquer Constantinople, we return Hagia Sophia to you.
By that time,
and the name of the city.
you know, one thing I tell you, when somebody becomes an old Muslim, it's not easy to change him. So if Hagia Sophia becomes a Muslim till all this, it will not change again into Kufristan.
I just wanted to enter it into record, not to debate with anyone. I'm not debating with anyone. I'm just entering into the record. This is my eschatology. And when I said this to them, and I've been saying to this them for a few years now, the response from Russia, the response from Greece, the response from the former Yugoslavia, the Balkan countries, is that the Muslims hate me. They despise me. Yes. And I don't care two pins about that. But the Orthodox Christian world is drawing closer and closer. They say, we never heard this Islam before. Why not? What had gone wrong in 600 years? You never heard this Islam before. The only Islam we heard was from Turkey. And so I am proud and I'm happy of the work I've done in the Orthodox Christian world. I'm confident that history will end with a friendship and alliance between these two people. And Turkey can't stop it, and Pakistan can't stop it. I want to end this in the record. Yeah.
Allah be with you.
May Allah guide us to the truth. Yes.
Allah be with you. It happens. I'm so sorry, we are sitting in Ramadan over here, can't help. This is the way all Muslims become alike. But if you are not fasting, कोई चीज चाहिए तो आप बताएं.
No, he's fasting.
हैं?
He's fasting. Fasting.
It's difficult to fast while traveling. I never did it before. I was always at home for Ramadan. But this year I couldn't avoid it. So, and I'm also fasting and I'm teaching and I'm lecturing and I'm talking all through the day. It's difficult, yes.
But I think this is, you are very courageous, but sensitive also. Sensitivity, if takes you over, then the courage is lost. That's a very strange combination of things.
I have another part of my profile which is unlike other scholars of Islam. My teacher would speak gently. He would speak politely. He would try not to engage in any abrasive discussions and so on. But when I get fed up, I'm teaching the subject of Gog and Magog from the Quran for 20-25 years, and you're not prepared to listen. Then my words now come like thunder, and I don't care two peanuts at all. This is a different profile. I didn't have this profile before. I'm fed up. And they closed the doors of the masjid. I said, go ahead. And you won't believe it, how many young people around the world now are listening to me.
Must be.
So let you shut the doors of the masjid. The young ones will come. And I'll teach them. With these, I'm soft, I'm gentle, I'm kind, I'm patient. Even when they differ with me, no problem. But with these, I'm like thunder now because they are an obstacle in the way.
So have you ever confronted them?
I'll let you know what happened in a place called Bradford, north of Britain. Yeah. They the Brailvi Jamaat, and they had agreed for me to come and give a lecture. And then 1 week before the lecture, they said, "No, we're not prepared to have the lecture unless you come and meet with our scholars." My response was, number one, lecture cancelled. Number two, I'm coming. I think that answer destabilized them. I went and waited. They never came. They never came. This is my experience with that. I'm not Barelvi, and I don't want to be Barelvi. I'm not Deobandi, and I don't want to be Deo. I don't speak disrespectfully of you, but I'm not a part of that sectarian divide. I identify myself as a Muslim, and if that's not enough for you, leave me and go your way and leave me alone. My teacher was like that. My teacher was like that. And I recognize in parting now, because it's late, the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, and I learned this much Urdu, he said, Meri ummat barish jaise. मैं ये नहीं जानता हूँ क्या पहली बारिश बेहतर या आखिरी. So I said the last shower must have a scholarly component. It will have a military component, have a political and economic component, but there must have a last shower of scholarly rain. And I don't see that coming from the Darul. Allah has blessed me to travel extensively, and I have respect for my Arab brothers, but I don't see it coming from the Arab.
Alhamdulillah, but you must take care of your health also, because it's a pretty delicate age now.
I don't see the last shower of scholarly rain coming from the Arab world or from Turkey.
No, nowhere from.
Or from Turkey, or from Southeast Asia. I lived in Malaysia, or from Africa.
Well, the main reason is they have never tried to.
Yeah. I have come to the conclusion in my old age, and I can be wrong, of course, that the last shower of scholarly rain, and this is where I agree with you, is coming from this part of the world. I won't say Pakistan, I say this region, because the Indian Muslims.
Yeah, anywhere, from anywhere who is a good Muslim.
In this region of the world. And finally, even though we find mistakes committed by Dr. Iqbal, he still remains a towering scholar. I say that the last shower of scholarly rain is going to come from Iqbal because of his link with Rumi. And Rumi was calling for Basar, Basar, Basar in Masnavi. And Rumi came from Khidr. From those who came from Khidr, Rumi is one. From those who came from Rumi, Iqbal is one. And my teacher came from Iqbal. So I've inherited that scholarly profile. And I say the last shower of rain is coming from this region and from the profile of Iqbal.
Maybe, inshallah.
Inshallah. Yes.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Allah be with you. Allah.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Saab. That we have been able to spend so much time with you.
It's a pleasure.
I'm grateful to you for the time you've given to us. Yeah.
But I think it's a good blessing in Ramadan. We have shared, talked, and with very open heart and mind. Somewhere you have not trusted, somewhere where you have not believed. I think even for long, I've known this statement of yours when I was in England. So you are very firm about Pakistan, and we stand on the other corner and we say, let anything happen, this state will stay.
I am here because I believe there's a future. That's why I'm here.
Inshallah ta'ala, and I've given you mark the time also. I don't talk like this. I've told everybody before 2023 the world will come to start doing things. And now in Pakistan, we can say after these people go, and we might run back to Italy because it's a fascist on that style. So we will bring up some simple human beings who can run the show.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. Yes,